Hello, everyone. It's a great day to be back with you again today. A lot of highlights coming forward. The regular season comes to an end today, and Purdue takes on the Fighting Illini. Despite Purdue already winning their 25th Big Ten championship, there's a lot to play for here. Maybe a win, and it's a probability maybe that they go through the Big Ten tournament and get a number one seed going into March Madness. Other top teams have lost, and if you keep the momentum going forward, there will be good things in the end. So we really need to get this win for Purdue today to keep them moving forward. Some questions, though, arise always. Are the freshmen ready to go, leaving the backcourt, those guys leading it? Are they hitting the wall, or like some freshmen do? Can Purdue stop Terrence Shannon Jr., who's been hot the last 4 games, averaging more than 20 points a game? After a month of February where teams were allowed to hack and shack kind of feel the heck out of anybody on Purdue, will that strategy again become a mainstay, or will Illinois play it a different way? Will Zach Edey get his 24th double-double this season? And, of course, turnovers. Last but not least, can anyone make a shot outside of the three-point line? No, let's rephrase that. Can anyone hit a wide-open shot from long distance? They've been getting plenty of them. The offense is having no problems getting open. They are having problems knocking down the wide-open shots. They did that against Indiana, and they lost, but got away with it against Wisconsin. If you look at the negative, that means any game they can end up losing against a good opponent if they cannot hit an outside shot. But if you want to look at the positive on it, they still won a game shooting about 20% from long range. So, pick your poison. It seems like they'll win most times, even if they shoot poorly, and they have all season. So, here are my notes as the game progressed. Yes, not every single play, but as the flow moved forward, and there's a lot of them in this game. Immediately we see, though, Coach Painter goes with that energy-type lineup with Flash, Fletcher Lawyer, Smitty, Braden Smith, Brandon Newman, the G-Man, Mason Gillis, and Zach Edey, who I call Zeddy, as your starters. So a different lineup to start. Here's what happened. Don't turn your head as Purdue comes out immediately producing 3 turnovers on Illinois' first 3 possessions, 2 of which were steals by Newman. Purdue scores on all 4 of their first possessions as they take an 8-0 lead in the blink of an eye. Yes, with 17:46 left, Brad Underwood, the Illini coach, calls a timeout to stop the Boilermaker train from running them over. Now, Newman has 2 steals and 2 points. G-Man has 2 points, and Smitty has 4. Zeddy has not even taken a shot yet. But good passing, as they seem to double Zeddy immediately, leads to scoring for Purdue. After the timeout, the Illini have another turnover on the next possession, and Purdue makes them pay, as after some great passing again, Newman is left wide open for a 3, and he knocks it down. Purdue was up 11-0. The Boilermakers are 5 of 6 shooting at this point. Meanwhile, Illinois finally gets their legs and makes a couple of shots, but they then start to single cover Zach Edey, who Purdue now pours the ball into, and he scores at will for the next 5 points. At the 15-minute mark, it's 16-6 Purdue at that point. There's a break at the 11:46 mark, and Purdue is up 21-13. Things seem good. The last 2 possessions, Illinois did score 5 points, though, to close it up from a 21-8 gap. Now, after Illinois loses the ball out of bounds, they went to a timeout, and clearly one of the Illini players shoves TKR in the chest. The announcer saw it and proclaimed it should have been a technical, but apparently no one saw it. These things got to be tightened up. You got to call fouls when they're there. At the 10-minute mark, both teams are still hot shooting, as Purdue is 10 for 14 and Illinois is 6 for 12. The score is 23-15 Purdue. Unlike the Wisconsin game, which was very slow-paced, this game is the exact opposite, with both teams full of energy and running up and down the court. With that type of game, you could expect more turnovers, and that is exactly what has occurred. The types where passes bounce off your knees or your face or your elbow on a bad pass and goes out of bounds because you're moving so quickly. Both teams have been guilty of it so far, and that's been in the last 4 minutes or so up to that point in the game. Purdue has been outscored 12-2 now after bringing up 13 points, mainly on sloppy passes that we were just talking about, and that turned into turnovers and points for the Illini. Also during that stretch, Illinois were the recipients of several offensive rebounds off of 3-pointers that missed and bounced way out, back out to that 15, 20-foot range. So Zach Edey's not getting a lot. So here's how the scenario plays out, though. Zach Edey gets fouled on a shot. This is later in the game. That's a clear goaltending and doesn't get the call. And those 2 points don't get put on the board, but he gets 2 free throws. But he only makes 1, so it's like a 3-point difference or a 2-point difference, right? And Ziti gets his second foul real quick going down to the other end and has to sit on the bench. He's only had 8 fouls called in the entire game, and 2 of them were on Ziti. That was with 6 minutes left. So 2 fouls now on Zach Edey and 1 just a touch foul early in the game. How will this affect the rest of the game is hard to tell. With Ziti on the bench at that 3:55 mark, they go to a timeout, and Purdue is up 32-23. So they're looking pretty good still with him out. But the Boilermakers are now going through another one of those stretches where they can't seem to make wide open shots when they get them. Well, that's what I wrote down anyway. What's that, you say? It's a fast break opportunity for the Boilermakers. And with the made basket and a free throw by Brandon Newman, Purdue is now back up by 10 again, 33-23. So that happened really quickly. Illinois' next possession, Brandon Newman picks the pocket again of another guy, and this time gets hammered hard going up for the fast break basket. Man. Then I wrote down here, believe it or not, holy smokes, someone better cover Newman. On another quick fast break, Brandon Smith finds him for a three-pointer, and Purdue goes up 37-23 with 2.5 minutes left in the half, and Ziti sitting on the bench, so everybody else is doing it. The Boilermakers are turning defense into offense as Illinois has its 10th turnover on their next possession, and this time Smitty knocks down the three, and Purdue takes the big lead 40-23. It is an 11-0 run in the last 2.5 minutes, and it looks like the outside shooting drought is over. Well, for at least now. My thought at that point was this is exactly what Purdue may look like next year if Ziti does not return. Fast, athletic, forcing turnovers, and fast breaks. It might just be the future for the old gold and black. All right, Illini stopped the run on a lucky bounce in a three-point play with only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. It looked like a turnover for sure, but ended up with 3 points for Illinois. You know how those things change, right? But on Purdue's next 2 possessions, one after another Illini turnover, Purdue scores 5 points on a Smitty 2, who then had 14 points, and another wide open 3 from Brandon Newman, who ups his point total to 15. So the Boilermakers have now made their last 5 shots. They are shooting great in the second half, and both teams are flying all over the court trying to get loose balls. And it has led to a very exciting game, at least up to this point. Now, Purdue makes it 6 shots in a row, and it is now 47-26. And that's what it ends up going into the half, is the Illini cannot get a shot off before the buzzer rings at the end of the half. Purdue ended on a 21-6 run in the last 5 minutes going into the half, and guess who wasn't on the court then? Yep. Shooting at the half shows Purdue at 62% and scoring 47 points. They're 6 for 12 on three-pointers and only have 4 turnovers compared to the Illini's 11 turnovers, and they're shooting about 40%. All right, the country better wake up as Purdue just showed them they can play without Zach Edey. Ziti, the National Player of the Year candidate and most likely winner at this point, it looks like. I'm guessing without him on the bench, he's the first one who's absolutely happy with what happened while he wasn't out there. My other thought is that time frame was don't forget the Illini have come back from big deficits this season. They've already done it a couple times. Something to keep in mind, absolutely. So they go to the first break at the 15-10 mark, and Mason Gillis has 2 free throws after the timeout. Purdue still up by 18 as the teams just seem to be trading baskets here in the second half. Illinois definitely looks like they're trying to shoot more threes, though, and Purdue's offense is passing the ball around the perimeter, finding the open man, or getting it into Ziti. So they're kind of just trading baskets. But the Illini go on a 14-3 run with 4 made three-pointers. 4, and you can see how they can score so quickly and have come back in the past. Meanwhile, the Boilermakers have only made 2 shots in the entire second half. Purdue still up by 13, 57-44, but it's closer. With 12:20 left in the game, every single thing seems to be going towards Illinois. They've just showed a replay of a guy who got a steal on Zach Edey, who clearly hooked his hand and arm to get the steal, but there was no call. This led to 2 points for Illinois, and that's how games can change so quickly. There have been a ton of long rebounds that have gone mainly to the Illini at this point, and I believe they're actually out-rebounding Purdue because of that. But again, when you get 20 rebounds that far out, Zach Edey and the big guys underneath are going to struggle. Zach Edey only has 3 rebounds at this point in the game, too, and that's unheard of. But every miss is going back 20 feet, And it's just kind of one of those things. Once in a while, that is exactly what happens. The Illini are giving it everything they can, though, during this stretch, trying to get back into this game and cut it to 9 points they cut it to. Can Purdue withstand this run and energy that Illinois has currently? That's exactly what I wrote down. And Purdue had seemed to weather the storm, though, and Zach Edey was double-teamed, right? Again and again. Somehow he was not fouled and missed a shot, and first missed a follow rebound dunk, which immediately turned into an Illini fast break where the guy makes some impossible shot to make a three-point play on the drive. And the game is back to single digits just like that. So back and forth, but Illinois is moving forward. Purdue is now shooting 36% in the second half, and the Illini are shooting 63%. Where have we seen this before? Purdue has the ball, and it's an 8-point game with 6:19 left in the game. The announcers talk about the Illini guy who moved from the three-point line into near the free throw and stopped to get a jumper, and that then produced a foul by Newman. But the replay clearly showed Newman didn't even touch him. So where are the refs? Vicinity fouls are being called again by these officials, yet nothing is being called near Ziti. All right, the Illini keep coming though, right? As they score 4 more points on free throws, a three-pointer off of a steal for more, and all the things that they're doing are not being called when they have to do it. It seems like it's being pushed towards them. But every call is going against Purdue, like traveling, and Illinois is clearly fouling Ziti down low, hacking his arms with no calls. It's all gone one way in the second half. First gets a loose ball and then gets his leg rolled over, losing it with no call again. He almost broke his leg, it looked like. Purdue's now shooting 30% in the second half with just 5 minutes to go, and it's a 4-point ball game, 65-61. Purdue now misses not one but 2 front ends of a 1-and-1 to keep the game close, and they're shooting 27% in the second half. 27%! What? Finally, with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left in the game, and the game down to 2 points, they finally call a foul on somebody against Zach Edey before he even gets a chance to shoot, but he does get free throws. The fans are going crazy, and they are upset at this officiating in the second half, which has clearly gone only one direction. Yes, fouls are equal, but who cares about that? The shots is what happens. And the announcers agreed. They nailed it when they said it was an easy call for refs, and it came over this last foul when they kept slapping on his arm. My problem is they did this 45 times, and this was the first time it happened. So Edey makes both free throws, and the Illini come down and drain yet another 3 to cut it to 1 point. What? Then Ziti gets bombarded on the other end with no call. The rebound goes to Illinois, and they have a chance to take the lead. Where are the refs? Ugh. A clear foul on Zach Edey. At the other end, though, it gives 2 free throws to Mayer of Illinois on a foul, and they can take the lead, and there is 1 minute and 17 seconds left in the game. And that definitely was a foul. Coming right down to the wire, as everything expected, or every one of us expected, despite the big lead by Purdue, we thought it would be close in the end. 20 points. 20 points is all Purdue has scored in the second half. Now, Mayer misses the first of the front end there, and he does make the second to tie the game at 67. Now, Purdue has outscored Illinois 47-26 in the first half, and Illinois has reversed that by outscoring Purdue 41-22 in the second half. Ziti then scores with 57 seconds left, and Purdue is now up 69-67. Something to remember. And to the Illini, just used their last time out at that point. That might come to fruition somewhere. This looks like it may come down to free throws again, just like the last game. It's another Big Ten barn burner, isn't it? Hold on to your hats for this last minute, folks. I got it all right here for you. Illinois looks haphazard on their possession, and eventually Morton pokes it away with 7 seconds left on the shot clock, but slides out of bounds trying to control it. So it's still Illinois' ball. They got to inbound it into the backcourt, though, come forward quickly and try to drive the lane. Morton gets a piece of it deflecting out of bounds with 30 seconds left. It's now Purdue's ball, and it did look like he got part of the hand, but they haven't been calling it on the other team, so you got to not do it sometimes against Purdue also. The clear foul on Shannon, though, from Illinois holding Fletcher on the inbounds is what we get, and no time even went off the clock when they did that. Flash makes both to put Purdue up by 4, and Illinois throws up a wild 3 air ball rebound by Newman, who immediately gets fouled, and there's 21 seconds left in the game. It's 71-67. Newman makes both of them. He pours them in at 73-67. Now the Illini drive down the lane. They get 2 free throws, but they miss both of them. The problem is they got the rebound on the second one. It was an awkwardly looking angle, and they got the rebound, and the guy got fouled as it happened. So they get 2 more shots. And I have to question why Zach Edey was not in there to get the rebound, at least at that point. Now, Illinois misses another free throw again, and Coach Painter puts in Zach Edey just in case this one is missed. Of course, Illinois makes the second one, and a quick inbound pass to Brandon Smith, who makes it all the way into the front court before being fouled with 12 seconds left, and he'll go to the line now. So you see the free throw frenzy continues, and that's exactly what we thought might happen at the end of the game. Smitty makes 1 of 2, and Purdue's back up by 6. And then I wrote down, oh my gosh, is what I wrote down, as Illinois travels down and shoots about a 30-foot rainbow of a shot that just swishes to cut the lead to 3 points with 5.6 seconds left. All right, they foul Newman. He goes to the line for 3 throws after the inbound pass. He makes both. It's a 5-point game again. Now a desperation shot at the buzzer by Illinois, which meant nothing misses. And Purdue wins the game 76-71 on senior day. You could say they hung on, that's for sure, but they played great in the first half. Now, there's a ton to unpack in this game. But let's just say it, and we'll put it in a nutshell. Purdue looked like the championship team they were in the first half, right? That's who we thought they were. And then they shot like middle school team again in the second half, which made the game a lot closer than it ever should have been. At one point, they had a 24-point lead in the second half, and Illinois battled back to tie the game up. The Illini gave Purdue everything they could handle on the second half for sure, and never seemed to lose their energy throughout that second half. Meanwhile, I have to think to myself, why does this team sometimes struggle to just put teams away? It seems like they get up and they think the game is over and they play lackadaisical. And in this game, I think they tried to slow the game down, way down, to get shots slower for the clock for them. But it probably played more into Illini's hands because after every miss, there was a quick transition at the other end and a lot of scoring in short periods for them. So that's it for the Big Ten season, though, right now. They still are the Big Ten champions. It was a great win, the #1 seed in the tournament, and a double bye. Everything you asked for, right? Isn't that what you asked for at the beginning of the season? You didn't think it was going to happen? And still, they possibly could be a #1 seed in the March Madness tournament. No matter how you shake it out, this has been a great season for Purdue. They could be a 1 seed to a 3 seed. Doesn't matter. They're way up there. These guys have overachieved from what everyone thought they could be at the beginning of the season, except for them. They thought they could be this. Now, can they put it all together and make a run for the ages to end the season? All right, we'll have to see. That's it for this time. I'll see you after the next game.